wrong button. There we go, that's the right button. Hey everybody, it is Friday. Hope everyone's good. Make sure everything's up and running. Turn that microphone to me a bit better. Hey Amanda, crikey, that was fast. How you feeling, Amanda? You any better? That's good to hear. Jolly good. Right, so tonight I think we're going to do this guy. I did kind of, I haven't finished on the Minotaur. I got little bits and pieces done. I haven't done the base yet, but I did get a message to say would I mind doing a miniature from scratch, so taking through my priming process as well. So I don't know if the date is here yet or going to be appearing, but I'm going to clean this miniature up and then we're going to prime it. You working on anything tonight, Amanda? Ah, okay, cool. Well, you're going to be well, you probably already are pro. The amount you're cranking out. Yeah, but so, for anyone watching this video back later on, I was asked about how I do priming. So I will, Amanda, I know this won't mean anything to you because you're well versed in how to do this, but a message was sent to me, so I said I would explain it, and then you can watch this back on YouTube or wherever. So as you can see there, I've tidied the miniature up by taking any rough edges off around the model. Now, I'm not massive into cleaning up models. I tend to just do things that stand out to me. I don't go to the nth degree of finding bits and pieces. I just look to see if there's any major bits and then clean those up, like that bit there. But that's pretty much it. I then give it a bit of a brush with a toothbrush and some water. Not so much on not too much on metal miniatures, but certainly resin. I find the paint just doesn't stick to the model otherwise. So, bit of a brush, bit of water, and then give it a quick dry. Airbrush. I happen to have the, I have no idea which one this is. It is the Hardensteinbeck. I got it from Kickstarter, the Evolution, but I also have the Badger 105 Patriot, which I can highly recommend because it's just a piece of steel that seems to last forever. So that's actually my favourite airbrush. And then I've got another Hardensteinbeck as well, but I now tend to use this all the time since it came through. I know it's a limited edition. I can't remember what number I've got. I've got number 54. There we go, number 54 from the Kickstarter Cult of Paint Kickstarter for this airbrush. There you go, number 54. I don't think it makes any difference whatsoever. It's just an airbrush. I think you can use anything, especially if all you're doing is priming. So, airbrush. The stuff that I tend to prime with, technically you can prime with anything, but I'm a big fan of the Stynylrez range from Badger. I've got many different primers. I used to use, where else have I got stuff that's to hand? Yes, I used to use this stuff. I've got quite a few bottles of this, which is the Vallejo primers. Don't use these anymore, just don't like them. Since I started using the Stynylrez, especially the grey is my favourite. If I was to recommend one, I'd recommend the grey one, but they're all very good. They go straight through the airbrush with no thinning. They dry really flat and they seem to work really well. I mean, they'll say on the bottle, self-leveling for enhanced coverage and excellent adhesion, dries hard flat. So yeah, all of the buzz things I would want it to say, it says. So we'll do two things. We're going to prime with the grey, and then we're going to do a zenith over the top with the white. Or sometimes what I'll do is I will just add a couple of drops of grey to the white. Alternately, if you were going to use any other paint, you would need to pick up some Airbrush Medium, and this is essentially going to thin the paint down to a consistency where it can go through the airbrush. If it's too thick, the air can't atomize the paint and it won't go through the airbrush, and your airbrush will just clog up. You essentially want it to be around sort of a milk consistency. So add your paint into the cup. Pick up whatever paint you're going to use. So let's say you're going to use a Baden Black. Put in some of this, and then add a bunch of this stuff. Mix it with a brush until you got to the point that the paint looks like milk, like a really. So you can almost like draw it up the side of the cup, and it will stick, but it won't like glob. Job done. When you're finished, give your airbrush a clean out, run some water through it. Pick up one of these if you can. They're super cheap. They're like £5–10. You can just fire it in. You put your airbrush in here and just fire whatever's left inside this paint cup. Rinse water through it a couple of times. Job done. So let's do this one. Okay, I've not tried MIG primers before, but yeah. Right, so if you're lactose intolerant and not yes, you can of course use Airbrush Cleaner. If you don't want to use it, you can just use water. I often just use water. It makes my airbrush just as clean. Or I have a jewelry cleaner where I take this off, I unscrew a bunch of it, like the cup and the needle and all the rest of it. This one's really easy. You undo the back, you undo this clip here, and the needle will slide out. Chuck it in the jewelry cleaner, and then bang, you're done. And it will work fine. All right. There's other little tips you can do as well. There is this sort of stuff, which is needle lubricant, and this will help paint not stick to your airbrush. I used to get all this stuff. When I first got it, I used to worry so much about it. Now I don't. I can just get on with it. If my airbrush gets clogged up, I tend to put it towards my hand, have a good blast, clears the needle out, and off I go. I think you can overthink some of this stuff. So in this instance, I'll be using it's to lube up of your airbrush. Yes, that's exactly what it's for. Nothing else. It's for the needle of my airbrush. So I'm going to go with the Steiner Res Grey, and I really like it. Like I say, really like this stuff. As far as your compressor goes, I think I've got it on around sort of 15 psi. It really depends on you know, I've not got a special make of air compressor, it's a cheap one. So your voltage might vary. I would just work with whatever you find works. So as you can see, I've put some paint in the cup and it's very runny. Give it a blast onto your hand or a bit of tissue, as you can see, there you go. I'm getting a nice grey primed hand, nice and easy. Then just work it across your model. Keep it moving, I like to keep it moving, and you're looking for it to just, yes, needle juice, I've heard of that one as well, yeah. Now what you're looking for when you prime, this is what I do, is just see there, it just went wet, so it just went to the point where I could see it shimmer under the light. Go too much, you're going to get dripping, and you're actually going to get a big thick layer of paint. But my suggestion is to go around a few times. You know, turn the model as you want. So I'm doing this bit, I wouldn't normally do this on camera, but someone did ask me earlier. They sent me a message, which was really nice of them. They said, if you're streaming, would you mind doing a little bit on how you prime miniatures? So this is how I do it. Now if you had a whole bunch of miniatures, if you have the time, you can absolutely do what I'm doing and sit here and prime them by hand, or you could grab a rattle can and go outside. But from singular miniatures, I tend to do this. Another neat trick for those that get what's called dry tip, so that's what everyone's talking about at the moment with the lube, which helps stop dry tip. Another way to stop dry tip is to get one of these. So this is just a wash sponge. Hey Mort, expose the tip of your needle, right, and dab it in and take it away, and that actually cleans off the end of the airbrush, so that I get a nice consistent colour back again. So you can dab it into here every now and then to I'm not doing the needle any harm, it's going straight into the sponge and coming off and cleaning the end of the airbrush. That's why I've always got one of these laying around. But yeah, keep doing this, keep moving backwards and forwards, nice and gentle. I was just saying, I used to worry about it. I think I need to keep it pristinely clean, and I need to constantly, worry about it. The reality is, I think once you've gotten more and more used to it, you stop worrying about it. I think it's like with anything, you become more confident with it. Yeah. I mean, that's what mine's for. It's for doing nice. Like, you definitely get a nicer finish on a prime compared to a rattle can. But then if you're going to do a whole force, just rattle can it. So there you go. We're getting like a really. Oh, if I didn't drop it, we're going to get a really nice flat grey on this now. So he's looking pretty good. Again, I normally do this before I start the stream, but as soon as I was asked to do it, that's no problem at all. Cool, there you go, he's done. And I actually put way too much paint in there, so I've got loads of grey paint in there. So why don't we grab another miniature? Why waste it? Let's grab another miniature. Let's prime up another guy while we're here. What's this do? I'm going to grab this knight. There's no point wasting it. I don't actually care about this miniature. This miniature is a bit of a trash miniature, so I'm not. I can see I need to clean his foot up. So I might as well use the leftover primer. There you go. Another miniature. Another miniature primed up. So the rest of it now I'm just going to empty out into the pot. So this is the pot. Chuck a bit of water in it. Use an old brush to kind of give it a swoosh around. Then just hold it down and empty it out. Like I say, I'll do that a couple of times, and then if needs be I'll chuck it in the ultrasonic cleaner, or I will just leave it as it is. Get an old rag, give the cup a bit of a clean. There we go. We're done. So now the second colour I'm going to do this guy is a couple of drops. Oh, hang on. I've got something off the printer. Let's have a look. Oh, that's cool. So you have a mermaid or a siren from Print Your Monsters. That looks very cool. Right, so this guy now, I'm going to give him a white zenith from the top. So this time I'm going to be using Stynal Res again, but it's the white primer. I've used loads of different primers, and I always come back to this. This is my favourite by far. So won't need much white at all, just a few drops. Yeah, it's the Stynal Res stuff. After trying a few different brands, this is definitely the one I go for. So all I'm doing here is just from the top down, just hitting it with a white. There you go. And that is a ready to go primed miniature. So for YouTube, I'll probably make a cut there just so you get that, and then hopefully that answers the question that was raised about how do you prime a miniature with an airbrush. I would certainly recommend, if you're not going to do anything to, you're not going to start actually painting with an airbrush, you're just using it for primer, pick up whatever sort of half decent airbrush you can get. There's no point buying a £300 airbrush. I think there's some fairly good branded ones. You can pick up really cheap ones where you can get them for like £10, £20, £30 for a kit. But I think there are some branded ones for about £50 to £60. It's probably worth getting one of those, because at least you can get parts for it if you need to, like the needles and stuff like that, if you happen to bend a needle. That's the most common thing most people do with their airbrush is when you take the needle out. I'll quickly demonstrate, not with a full cup of paint I won't, but 1 second. Let me grab one of my other ones. I would do if it was, where's the other airbrush? Let me grab this one. This one's been sat in the cleaner for a little while. This is my other hardened Steinbeck Ultra. I think this is less than £100 for an airbrush. But what happens is, as you take them apart, so to quickly take it apart, most of them have a back piece that comes off. They have a nut that normally holds the needle in place. It will be different depending on the one, and then you should be able to free the needle. And what will happen is, this, by the time it gets to the very fine tip, which you won't be, well, you might have to see, the common thing is they get bent, and they can bend very easily. So whichever airbrush you want to be able to get, you want to make sure you can get new pins. Now I've only ever bent one, and I did it on the very first day of having an airbrush. But luckily I was able to bend it back and it was fine. And I think there are techniques out there, or tools out there you can get, where you can actually run that needle through a little device and it will reshape the tip for you. Yeah, Neo, that's the one. I've heard of the Neo. I haven't bent one. Yeah, can happen, man. Like I said, so I have two hardened Steinbecks. They're fine, but actually I could easily get rid of both of those and just have kept using the Badger 105 Patriot, because it's just a chunk of steel that's never gonna break. Which I think is, I think if you're in the US, that's a super cheap airbrush, but in the UK, it's not. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, or just yeah. There's no, from what I've just done, there's nothing special. You could have used the cheapest airbrush on the market to do that. I have got one of those kind of non-branded from China airbrushes, and the problem is when you take them apart, and well, it's a tiny issue, is that there's a lot more little bits to it, and they're normally nuts where you need to use like a little tiny spanner or something, or a little tool to take it apart, where all the other ones are designed and thought about in a way where you can just disassemble them within a couple of bits and away you go. But yeah, but you do you. But that's it. Yeah, there we go. We have a primed miniature ready to go. Zenith looking good. So let's now stick some paint on him. Why not? Let's do that. So I'm kind of building up this little range of miniatures of fantasy. I've got a barbarian, a ranger now, 2 wizards, a dwarf. We've got the minotaur from yesterday. This guy looks like an adventurer of some description. He's got a spade and a pickaxe on his back. He's wielding a couple of longish daggers. So he looks like fun. So let's paint him up. Ah, cool. Well, there you go then. Yeah, I'm sure they do. I'm sure almost exact copies of existing airbrushes do exist from the Chinese market. Yeah, that sounds. I'm trying to think where my badger is. I think it's not the animal. My airbrush. It must be one of my drawers. Right. Where's my badger? Anyway, now that part's over. Is everyone alright? Everyone good? Healthy? Looking forward to the weekend? Got anything planned? Is it something you got to prep for more, or is it just on the day? Just got to be on form. Actually, I don't know. Not sure I can answer that, Mal. I'm not sure my accent would even count as. I mean, I'm a Southeast London lad, so I'm not sure. But yeah, you're right. You can't say badger without going into some sort of regional dialect. Maybe because in London we don't get badgers. So they're almost foreign. From up to north, something like that. I don't know. Ah, okay. Well, yeah. Good luck for that then, buddy. Are you able to tell us what the job's for? Oh. Do you mean like you've had to reapply for your old job, or essentially? Ah, right. Okay. Right. Yeah. cool. Badgers living under the hole directly under my bedroom once. That must have freaked you out before you knew it was badgers. Sadly, I don't think I've ever seen a badger in the wild, only a dead badger. You know, when you drive out to the countryside and you will inevitably see one that sadly didn't quite make it across the road. Oh, that sucks, man. Well, not that it'll help, but I wish you all the luck, my friend. It's a funny time at the moment. I'm interviewing people for jobs that I've got going, and it's so funny because everything has to be over video call now. And even if I offer them the job, I won't meet them in person. So from job interview to them starting, I won't actually ever meet them until later in the year, which is a bit weird. Oh, crikey. Yeah. Right. Now, what colour tunic are you going to be wearing, my friend? What am I feeling for you? Let's go with a blue, shall we? Hey, Talon. Yeah, man, it's a lot of people in tough positions right now. I'm fortunate working in technology. It's kind of never really goes out of fashion or out of favour, really. If anything, right now it's needed more and more. So. How are you, Talon? You good? Yeah. You never know, mate. Sometimes these things can be, on the surface they don't look that great or feel that great when they happen. But if it all of a sudden leads to something new and exciting, that can be, you can look back at it and go, yeah, actually I'm quite glad that happened. I took a different opportunity and here I am. But that's pretty hard to say when you're looking down the barrel of it to begin with. God, you're doing three, yeah, so. A lot of 3D stuff going on tonight. I didn't have my. I was gonna kick my 3D printer off to sort of carry on printing the aircraft I'm doing, but it's already hot enough in here as it is. So having that kicking out even more heat at the moment, I'll pass. Might kick it off overnight when I go to bed. Amanda is also tinkering in the world of 3D right now with supports on resin printing. Yeah, some, I think as you were saying before, man, that they need to be quite regulated as far as heat's concerned. Like, not hot and not cold, just as in Goldilocks' breakfast, just right. Ah, well, okay, yeah, sorry, that's what you meant. Well, that's good. Yeah, well, obviously an FDM, that print head is 200 degrees normally, so yeah. I'd be lying if you couldn't tell it wasn't on. You definitely can. It gets toasty warm if you've not got any doors or anything open. And every time we get onto the subject of 3D printing, I'm constantly sitting there going. Even then, I'm like thinking, well, maybe I should just get one. should just get one. Ooh. Oh, damn it, they've not come through as full links. I've got to do some finger jiggery pokery here. Let's grab all of that. That's right, folks. Finger jiggery pokery is what I just did. Oh yeah, they're cool. Oh, I've seen these, right? Yes. Yes, I've seen these before. Yes, Taylor, I'm sure we've spoken before about these. They're super cool. They're very good, my friend. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, they're really cool. I like them a lot. Just a suggestion, buddy. I know you've been talking to, I don't know what you've been talking to Warren and the guys at Piece of War, but you could give one of them away for free on the Weekender show. One, it means you'll get a nice shout out of all the stuff you're doing, and also you'll get a bunch of OTTers or Beasts of Warers, whatever you want to call us these days, printing those bad boys out and painting them. I know in the past they've given away stuff from various other sort of STL companies out there that are designing miniatures and stuff. Like just one of the collection, and then if people want, they can go and pick up other ones, or you get to see a whole bunch of results. Yeah, man. Well, when you do, I'm sure they would happily do it. They do a thing on the Friday show, which is like the indie of the week, I think it is, where they like to sort of give a shout out to someone who's, you know, a one-man band or something. It's doing cool stuff, so that's a good time to sort of get a bit of a shout out. And the only warning I give you is it tends to crash that person's website, because, you know, several hundred people go to that website and poke around, and lots of the times that company's website goes down. Yeah, they'll host the STL file on their own store, so you just give it to them, they'll stick it up there, and we just go on and download it, and you'll be under, well, because I know they've done, I can show you, yeah, I've got it here. This was something that was, so this was a company that were doing a Kickstarter for Necron terrain. So this is the one they sort of gave away for free on the site. Let me chuck it under here. So you could print that out, and then for people that liked it, you could go on onto the Kickstarter and back it. They've done it for all sorts of miniatures. Yeah, it's a cool piece of. And then when you went to the company that was doing this, so they gave this on Tabletop to give away. You know, I'm not going to say that, you know, these guys are like phallic objects, but this is definitely what this is supposed to be. And then they also did their own giveaway on their own website to drum up interest in the models, and that Kickstarter went very well as far as I could see. So yeah, that's definitely worth, you know, when you've got yourself in a better position, maybe have a chat with them. I'm sure they would love to do it. Or worst case, if they don't want to do that, just do it into the Discord. Put it in the share my stuff room, and a bunch of people will print them up without any hesitation. Thanks, Manda. Thanks for coming in, as always. Thank you. You are my rock, as I always say. Have a good evening, yeah? Apparently it's going to rain soon in the southeast of England, so that'd be nice, because it's bloody hot at the moment. Right, getting these base colours down first of all. No worries, Talon. Enjoy. Make sure it's a cold one. need to. Actually, I have no idea where you are, so maybe you're somewhere where it's cooler. But I certainly had a nice cold shower after work today. I finished in here. I went straight out to the garden. My kids have got a paddling pool, I dunked my head in the paddling pool, shaved my head, and went down the shower. That was my combination this evening. Because I just had enough of being too hot. So yeah, I had my COVID cut. Yeah. I just sat in a chair in the garden more and grabbed the clippers and just went, you know, G.I. Jane style and just sort of cut it all off myself. What was the Demi Moore movie where she joins the Marines and she stands in front of the mirror and cuts all her long hair off with clippers? It wasn't G.I. Jane, was it? Was it? I can't remember what the name was of that film. It was something like that. I can't remember if G.I. Jane's the one with I can't remember her name. Married to Kurt Russell. There's two movies about women joining the Marines. One's a comedy from the 80s, and the other one is Demi Moore. Goldie Hawn's Private Benjamin. That's it. Yeah, that's it. Was G.I. Jane then? Yeah, okay, that's it. Goldie Hawn is Private Benjamin. Oh god. That was back when those two just appeared. Was it Bird in the Wire? They were in. Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn were in Bird on a Wire. They also did the one where she gets amnesia and he takes advantage of her. There's a few other. Overboard. That was it. Yeah. we're on the same wavelength, Mort. Bird on a Wire is a great film. That's a proper sort of 80s comedy action. Yeah, man. I know every one says this, but I definitely feel like I grew up in the best era for movies. Late 80s, early 90s action. They're way better than the action movies of today. They are. The over the top ridiculousness. You know, early Jean-Claude Van Damme or Chuck Norris or old Arnold, you know, young Arnold Schwarzenegger, young Sylvester Stallone, Wesley Snipes. Big Trouble in Little China. I mean, you can't beat that, right? Like, what beats Big Trouble in Little China today? I don't think they even make films like that. Like, there you can have like genuine stupidness in a serious, a film that's trying to have like a, you know, action and all the rest of it in it. I suppose Jackie Chan's the only one who tries to continue doing it, but he's not making many films now, is he? Yes, yeah. Oh, please don't be bad. I did try and watch the new one. And it's right. It's got nothing to do with the fact that the cast are all women or anything like that. They're just not interesting. They haven't made interesting. They haven't made good characters. It's like you've kind of failed on the first hurdle, which is make them interesting. No, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it almost makes no difference. Yeah, they're just uninteresting characters. There isn't there isn't a straight guy. There is like they're all clowns. They're all idiots. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't clever. It wasn't clever casting or anything, right? It wasn't. I think any idiot could have come up with a bunch of characters and then typecasted them very easily and gone, oh yeah, that'll do. It was just poor, just really poor. What a shame, mate. So yeah, let's see if I'm not even sure the new one will be that good. I think they try and it's very rare. I'm trying to think of any. Can you think of any movies where they've revisited something from the 80s or the early 90s and recaptured that magic? I can't think of many. Like, I worry about the Bill and Ted movie. Yeah, I must admit, wasn't for me, but I think it's as good as like they could do it. It didn't hit me in the nostalgia. It was a bit too modern, if you know what I mean. Like, I think they could have used. I don't know. Maybe I'm being a bit harsh, but it's really hard to go up against Blade Runner, right? Bloody hell, that's a tough thing to go up against. And maybe that's also the point. Maybe you can never be as good as the original, because in your mind the original is the best. It can't be beat or even matched. So no matter what they do, they're onto a loser. And therefore the best thing to do is to not do it and come up with new unique stories. But there aren't many that I can think of where I kind of went, oh, that was alright. Even when it's the original cast, like the new Bad Boys movie. You know, when did the original Bad Boys come out? I can't think. It must have been the later 90s, I'd have thought. So it's kind of the back end of the era. But I've seen the new one, and it's alright. I mean, it's Will Smith. But it's nowhere near as good as the original, or the first two originals. You know, and then you've got complete nightmares like the Total Recall movie, which was just shit. Yeah, and that's maybe also saying else, right? I think in this day and age, I don't think you can get away with what you could get away with. Look at the Beverly Hills Cop movies. I don't think you can get away with most of what goes on in those films today. Actually, not get away with, because they didn't get away with anything. They faced into subjects and with reality. I think people's appetites to understand things from the context of entertainment and tongue-in-cheek and comedy and all this has changed dramatically. Still, luckily I got to grow up in the best era of movies. And you know that they must be the best ones because that's the ones that keep trying to remake. Shit, we can't come up with a better idea than what was done before. Let's just remake it. Although saying that, even in the 80s they were remaking films from the 50s and the 60s. I've heard they're making, see again on that subject, I heard they're making another Demolition Man. I cannot see working. So that's another absolute classic. Was it just rumour then? That's what I'd heard that from. Well, I can't remember where I heard it from. I'm sure someone messaged me. Yeah, actually, someone linked me a news post somewhere on Facebook about it. If it was just nonsense, yeah, I can't see it work. I definitely got messaged it, and I instantly kind of recoiled and went, no. One, I didn't think Wesley Snipes was working anymore. But it was definitely out there. But then I think that's, you know, there's probably a news story about every classic movie being remade somewhere. On some 2-bit news website. Actually has no grounds in reality. I guess we don't also have those stars anymore, right? I mean, who do we have now? Who is our collection of sort of big action heroes? You only really got Dwayne Johnson, who kind of does action movies now. Is there anyone left? Vin Diesel disappeared. He tried, but he disappeared. Don't even know what he's doing now. He's certainly not doing any movies. It seems unless you're doing a Marvel movie, you disappear into obscurance. Yes, I saw that too. Yeah, it was. Sorry, you're right though. That wasn't too long ago. So, yeah, he did do something. But apart from the Fast and the Furious movies, the Triple X ones were a long time ago, and he only did the first one, right? Because the second one was Ice Cube, wasn't it? Or whatever that rapper's name is. But yeah, Bloodshot, I did see that. Problem is, I can't get into it because it's just like I didn't feel like there's any threat there whatsoever. The guy can just live through everything. I was like, oh, okay, then it's just him being unstoppable. It kind of lost its appeal quite quickly. Like when he goes up against the other guys with like the guy with the extra mechanical arms and the other guy with the jump legs. It's like, well, how are they any match to Vin Diesel's character? They can't physically hurt him, and they have nothing apart from extra add-ons. Like the guy with the extra arms, he was still a human man. He could still just be killed very easily. You know, he couldn't regenerate like Vin Diesel could or anything else. So it's like, oh, you're definitely gonna die. And you're definitely gonna die very easily. So good luck. Oh, and I have some super jumpy legs. Yep, you're definitely gonna die. Because unless you've got nanobots for blood, I can't see how you survive. You alright, Dusty? Oh, dog's running around the garden. Looking for... It was supposed to rain by now. It's supposed to rain at 8 o'clock. It's now 9 o'clock. I saw no bloody rain. I was promised rain. Dusty. A quick drink. Right, need to do his boots, and then these straps that go across here. Dusty! Right, I'm going to do snakebite leather for the boots. Where's that? Here it is. Now, like the Minotaur, I won't do the base because I don't know what I'm doing for basing yet. I'm probably going, I have said it a few times now, I'm probably going snowy because I think these are all going to be eventually stuck into Frostgrave when the second edition comes out, so they're probably going to get snowy bases. But I'm not going to do that now. Also, because I'm probably going to watch some tutorials on how to do nice snowy bases. Because what I tend to do for snowy bases is grab my big pot of Vallejo snowy base texture, slap that all over the base, and then sprinkle a bit of snowy flock and sprigs of twigs and stuff. And I reckon you can do better than that. So hey guys, I am doing, I have no idea, this guy. This is Adventurer Tim with his little pickaxe and spade on his back there. So yeah, this is what I'm doing right now. Basically just another generic kind of adventurer for Frostgrave. Possibly even D&D at this stage, right? I mean, he could just be a fighter in D&D. I honestly, I'm terrible, guys. I don't know. It's metal. It's not Atlantis. I don't know. I could go and find out because it's in one of my model box videos. This will be one of those miniatures I got with. Remember when I used to do the unboxing videos with the monthly subscription? This will be one of those. And I, for the life of me, cannot remember where it's from. But it's a nice little miniature. But I couldn't tell you who it is. You're not looking after the little guy. I'll endeavour to find out. I will flick through my various old videos and find him. it will be something super obscure. Yeah, he's a nice little miniature. Yeah, it's a nice little dude. Looks a bit darker on your. Let me see if I can lighten the picture a little bit, because when I'm looking over, it's very bright on my side, but a little bit dark on the camera. I wonder if the white balance has kicked in and. Let me see if I can lighten things up for you guys. Or it might look worse. Okay, pretend you're at the opticians. Is this better or worse? Is this... Actually, I went the wrong way. Is this better or worse? I think that's better for you guys. Yeah. That's a bit... Is that too much? Between number 1 or number 2? Number 1 or number 2? Number 1. That's what I thought. Yeah, that looks nicer. One more. Okay, good. Here's your prescription. You may pick your glasses up at the front desk. Right, on a little bit of nylon oil to dirty up these metals. What are you up to tonight, Gaz? Are you painting anything? I did get a message tonight, so we did a new model because I got a message to say, would I mind showing someone how to do priming with an airbrush. So rather than going back to the Minotaur tonight, I grabbed a brand new miniature and I showed everyone how I do it. Like, not that it's a good way of doing it, just this is how I do it, using my airbrush and the Steinal Res primers. It's very nice to get a request though, that was good. I like that. Oh wow. So you like full into like editing and stuff like that, yeah? Yeah, I don't do any editing. Like, I do put these I export them out of Twitch and put them on YouTube. Just in case, because I have been told a couple of people do watch them back on YouTube when they're doing their own hobby, just to have someone in the background. So that's why I do it. But I don't do any editing, so you get the rough cut. You get the this is exactly what happened on the night, and I sat here and. So normally I do put the chat into the window as well, because at least then when I'm talking to someone, if you're watching this back on YouTube, you can at least tie what I've just said to what's going on in the chat, because a Twitch export doesn't include the chat. Otherwise it's just me talking to myself, and I haven't done it for this one. So if you are watching this back on YouTube, sorry, I'm not talking to myself, I'm talking to the people that were live at that time in Twitch. All our movie moaning, yeah man, it's all going to be in there. Us sounding, are we boomers? I don't know what is a boomer. Are we boomers? Moaning about how movies aren't as good as they used to, as good now as they used to be. I don't know if that Gen X babies, yeah, that's what it is. That's what I think. That's what I am. 70. I was born in '79. I'm in that middle one. Apparently, there's a generation that doesn't get classed, and oh, okay. it's like, isn't it like 79 to 84 or 78 to 84 or something, where you're not one type and you're not the other type. You were born without the internet and you grew up with it. No, or something, I can't remember. Like, you can remember a time without it and a time with it. Boomers either a hot woman or a stocky American dude from the 80s that flies spaceships. Yeah, that works. Oh, well, I thought the rain was coming. Then I might have gone and stood outside and. Well, it just sounds wrong. I was about to say get wet, but I'm not. We're not doing this. We're moving off the subject. Move away, back away from this subject. Right, what am I doing with this guy? His face is definitely not a healthy colour. I need to fix that. Right, so I've blocked out all my colours now, which is nice. So now I'm going to start highlighting things up. What are we? We're an hour and 25, so 35 minutes of highlights. Yeah, that sounds reasonable to me. 35 minutes to get this tabletop. That line down is, oh where? Oh, there. Sorry, man. Yeah, it's okay, man. It's okay. I must admit, I did rush to get the model up, so I didn't. Trust you to bloody see that. You're a nightmare. Yeah, look, there it is. Look. Oh. To think I almost invited you to my home. You'll be in here looking at all the minis going, oh, you've missed a bit there, Mark. Oh, that's way too hairy. Oh, that's not good. See, this is why filing in miniatures is a bad idea. There you go. You're more. It's a cautionary tale. Don't do it, everyone. The odd mold line. It's not worth it. It's fine. It'll pass the 3-foot test. As long as it passes the 3-foot test, you're all right. You're all right. Actually, I reckon you could throw this miniature quite far and it'd be fine. This is a solid piece of metal. There's no chance of this thing falling apart. Put this thing in a sock, it'd be a weapon. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. It must be a little bit. I mean, it's going to happen, right? 3D printers, cheaper, faster, and then hey, I need a dwarf cleric. Oh, okay. I just go online, find the file, press print. Why would I bother going to a miniatures company when I can probably, Hero Forge, if they can make that cheaper, it's going to go on there, create exactly what you want. Yeah, well they are, yeah. And the only thing I don't like is I think it's just a bit too costly. It's still $10 for a file, which I get, but you're doing all, now they've built the platform, you're doing all the homework. So I can get it that you pay £10 when someone's done all the design and work and effort to create it, but I don't think it should be $10 for you to design a custom miniature. And also I think they need to do it where if I create a soldier, I should have to have 10 variations of that soldier with ever so slightly different posing, for much cheaper than $10 each. It should be $20 for 5 different poses of that same miniature, because then if people want to do a force, an army, they don't have to have this guy in this pose 10 times. Yeah, $7. Yeah, okay. So what's that? That's like a £5, £5. So yeah, I mean, it will definitely get there. And I think if you're, well, I don't think Games Workshop are ever in trouble, because I think they've got that mass market where. But I certainly think your smaller ones. And then it's like your Patreons, right? That's where they come in. They've got all that. I've seen some pictures of it. I think the tech's cool, definitely. The technology is cool, but I think it's a while away before I would choose it. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I did a couple. I've got. Now they're not. I will show you. I did have another one somewhere. This was, I think, a freebie off of Hero Forge, which I did on my Flash Forge, and it came out alright, but it's not great. Yeah, yeah. You'll get to see it when you come down, Gaz. You'll like it, but I can't bloody find anything now, even though it's all very well organised. So, but I did create my World of Warcraft Shaman in Hero Forge, and it looked alright, but yeah. It's, then again, I haven't seen anything print off from resin with it, and it would look great from a resin printer, there's no two ways about it. So, just another argument for me getting a resin printer, really. Which doesn't seem to be a hard argument at the moment. Right, I want a light brown. Whee. Well, my oldest son is probably going to be a programmer, so it'd be down to Blake. My daughter likes it. Maybe my daughter would do it, but my eldest son, he's 12 now, and he's doing like university level programming. So I'm pretty sure that's where he's headed. Which is no bad thing. I certainly won't get in the way of that. Yeah. Cool, thanks Mort. Good luck, buddy. I hope if I don't speak to you, if I don't see you from you to then, I'll probably be online over the weekend if you're around. Might be playing Right Busters. But if I don't see you, have a good weekend and good luck on Monday, and I'll speak to you. And yes, definitely, I will be up for Mothership. Cheers, my friend. All the best, yeah? As always, thanks to anyone who comes into the channel and says hello. It's always appreciated. Every follow is appreciated, everything. I am a tiny little program, which is fine. I like it that way. But I do appreciate any interaction with anybody. Otherwise, it'll just be me sat here talking to myself. Which I'll do. That's alright. I'm still only 3 followers away from 200 followers, which is a pretty big milestone. If I can find 3 more people to like me enough to chuck a follow, I will be a happy man. And then not this weekend, the weekend after, I'm probably going to do a bit of a celebration stream of, well, I'm hoping by then I've hit 200, but if I haven't, I've still become an affiliate anyway, and I want to do a bit of a, like, give some stuff away. I've got drawers of stuff. Clearly I need to give it away because I can't find anything. Right, let's do a blue for the shirt. Let's go with, not you, let's go with you. Oh, let's not drop the paint. That's probably not a good idea. This is a very long instrumental. You have to play royalty-free music now. You can't play anything else. So this is 80s synthwave radio that is royalty-free. But yeah, it could move off this bit for a second. I can feel it. It's about to kick in. It's about to go off the hook. Yeah, haven't Twitch changed all the rules now that, you know, if you play anything that's copyrighted, you get 3 strikes and your channel's closed down or something? I don't know. And I'm sure you can go through and delete bits and pieces afterwards, but it's just like, I'd rather just not have to have that hassle. So if it means I've got to play royalty-free music. I found a YouTube channel that just does this 24/7, just does royalty-free 80s kind of synthwave, which is my jam at the moment. Can't play Iron Maiden or anything because I'll get told off. Oh, okay. Exactly, I can't say. Can't play that. Or I'd be playing Queen because I watched the Queen movie last night. I keep thinking I hear my son calling, but I'm not hearing him calling. But I keep thinking I am. We can get the world to stop trying to destroy itself, buddy. You can come down and, you know, we can have a good game, we can have good old catch up. Oh, hello. I got a visitor. Alright. You gonna come and say hello? Oh. Oh. Hello. Oh, Pooch. Alright. What's the matter? Is it starting to rain? There's only one reason why you'd come in here. Or are you a bit scared? I'm going to say hello to everyone. Say hello, Twitch. This will get all the views. Look at all the views I'll get now. People will come flooding into the channel to see you. I'm going to lay on my lap. I'll try this before. No fox outside, yeah. This is what she'll do. She'll lay on my arm like this. So this arm becomes completely useless. So it's like, can I somehow position you so I can hold the miniature just about. There we go, that's it, like that. Can you stay like that? Yeah? Okay. See how well this works. Now painting slightly hindered by dog on arm. Yes. You're gonna nudge the camera, aren't you? How do I post a picture of Fox? What, see if she goes for the screen? I need to do whatever all the other streamers have, like a dog cam, so like you can see what she's up to. But sadly, she's not the sort of dog to just sit around the whole time. At least you get to hear her every stream when she goes out and barks at the fox, didn't you? Is there no fox tonight? No. I dunked her in the paddling pool today. She was so damn hot. She went for a little swim in the paddling pool. Oh, listen to this. This is a bit funky. Yeah, I could strap a GoPro to her, couldn't I? Oh, what was I doing? I was going for a green. I got distracted, Dusty, didn't I? You distracted me. And I've got to shake a paint with you on my other arm. This is... No. So all of these are unbased so far. What? What? I'm talking, aren't I? Yes. Hello. Yes. I'm not talking to you. So no, I haven't decided. Apart from it's probably going to be snowy, but I know Jerry did I've done snow basing before. I did it on all my elves for fantasy battles, but I just use stuff like the Vallejo textured snow, and then a bit of snow flock, and then some little tufts that have got snow on them. So I was going to watch his videos and see if there's any cooler ways of doing snow basing. Because I know he's got some cool things he's done. Oh, this is a bit funky bright. This is. Do you have a board or mat for snow? Yes, I do. I have. Which one do I have? I will actually show you in a second. Let me put some paint down on that. It is. Dusty, do you want to get down? Oh. Which one is it? It is this one. If I flip to a camera, you might lose my mic for a second, but I'll flip to a camera so you can see the table. There we go. I don't know if you can still hear me, but this is the one I've got for Frostgrave Games. I think it is Deep Cut Studios. I think you can still hear me. Let me check. It's normally printed in the corner somewhere, isn't it? Yeah, Deep Cut Studios, this one. So yeah, I have hopefully now a full collection of like different mats. So I've got the black one for board games. I've got the hopefully you can still see some of this. I've got this one which I've been using for like fantasy, or even this is what the Normandy table was built on. It's double-sided, so on the other side I've got just a green field. I've then got this one which I've been using for like Western Desert or Star Wars, so I can do like a Tatooine. This is Deep Cut Studios again. I've got this one which is for 40k, like futuristic. On the other side of that is just a generic planet surface of some description. This one for Frostgrave. This one for Blood Red Skies or Cruel Seas or Oak and Iron. This one will also be used for. That's it. So I'm hoping. I kind of went out and bought them with the intention of having one for every scenario that I'm likely to do. I've got some smaller like cloth ones and that for, this one was for like The Walking Dead. It's only I think it's a 3x3, where everything else is a 6x4. So there you go. Let me flip back to the other page. Yeah, I wanted to get to the point where I had a mat for most occasions. The only one I probably haven't got that I might look at is a space one. Like actual, like if I was playing X-Wing or something. Me and the kids made one. We bought some black card and then just flicked it with paint and stuff to make it look like a galaxy. Which was quite cool. It worked nicely. The only one I regret is the top one. So the top one is Deep Cut Studios, and it's their black matte. It is just jet black. The problem is it marks like a mother. So I was like, oh, this is great. I can use this for board games, and when I'm recording the games and stuff, they'll look nice. But anything that touches it basically marks it. And I don't know why I was gluing a model over it, but a blob of super glue dropped off the end of the glue and landed on the mat and has made a white stain on it now. That I've tried dyeing it and it doesn't seem to work, so it's only tiny, but I know it's there. So that's enough to annoy me. When I should have just gone with a black tablecloth that would have cost me a tenth of the price. I mean, that was 60 quid, that mat. So a black neoprene mat, and I could have just bought a tablecloth for 10 quid. That if it got dirty, could have gone in the wash. But I was lured in by the, Deep Cut Studios awesomeness, and bought a ridiculously priced black mat. Whoa, that was a bit overzealous. No, no, I'm just painting miniatures that I find nice to paint. So I'm hoping they'll all work in Frostgrave. I'm sure they will. I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna put my hand in the drawer, find miniatures that I like the look of, and just enjoy painting for the sake of painting at the moment, rather than going, I must paint this, I must paint that. Just gonna do what's fun. Otherwise, I'd have never painted this one. I'd have never painted this Minotaur. I can't think of a reason why I'd ever go, I need that for such and such. Well, by doing this, I've painted a bunch of miniatures that, to be honest, would never have seen the light of day. So, quite like that approach. But it just so happens that I've kind of done a couple of wizards, you know, a ranger, a warrior, a barbarian. So I'm kind of thinking, well, they've got to be, that's the kind of classes and stuff that I know are in Frostgrave. Certainly I know there's the concept of captains and, you know, a man of arms, which is, you know, essentially a warrior. So I'm sure there's lots I can get away with. But yeah, just doing what's fun. There she goes. Go get that fox. He's not there, but go get him. Go get him. Right, I'm going to do it. I never do this, but I'm going to do a little bit of yellow coming off this torch onto various areas. So the side of this. I never do this. I never do object size source lighting. But screw it. I'm here. Gaz is here. Gaz is pushing me that extra few inches. That sounds wrong again. Extra few miles, whatever that saying is. So let's do a bit of a glow coming off of this torch that he's got round his waist. Even though on this tan colour it won't show up very well, but do a bit on the leg there, where it would be shining on the inside of his leg. So you know when you say something, you're like, it's definitely a saying, but I can't think what it is, so I'm just going to say this, and if it sounds wrong, then it's wrong. So just around his waist. They're not much, very little, very subtle. Mostly on the side of that rope, because that rope's quite a clean rope he's got hanging around his waist there, so it's kind of reflecting off of that a little bit. Gotta love live stream, yeah. Luckily, no one's watching, Gaz. It's only you, so you know, could be worse. You could have like, you know, you could be under the pressure of having some streamers that have like hundreds of people watching them, and then think, shit, did I just say that? Crap, how do I unsay what I just said live on air? I haven't got that worry. What do I want? I want Corax White. That's what I want. There you are. This is true. Yes, I will have to have yellow snow right here. Almost like a small puddle. This is exactly what has to happen now. Oh, really? Like no paint's gonna come off there? I think it's like literally drying so fast at the end of my brush. By the time I actually get near the eyeball, which that one didn't go too well. That's alright, we can clean that up. Oh, you're back again, are you? You alright? Did you get it? Did you get that fox? Yeah? Was you a hero? Yeah. Don't worry, buddy. We're going to finish up soon. It's 9:45, alright? 15 minutes. I don't think there's much more I want to do. All sort of nicks and scratches on that blade, that's about it. Maybe a few more. No, that's fine. This side of I didn't do this side of the shovel, so let's lighten up the side that would be showing. The other bits in shadow. A few little nicks on this side. There we go. We have got my little adventurer. He's ready to go off down the mines or wherever he's off to. He's got all his gear, he's got his climbing rope, he's got his little lantern, his pickaxe, his spade, he's got his two little short swords. He's good to go. He's loving life. yeah. No worries, man. Cheers. I'm literally going to end anyway, guys. So, as always, thanks for coming and supporting me, my friend. It is much appreciated. Yeah, thanks, man. Right, that is it, folks. I think we are done. That's an hour, 2 hours and 5 minutes, and this time we actually primed in. We primed it live. So in this session where we do primer to tabletop, a little bit cheating because I haven't done the base, so I wouldn't stick him on the table yet. But you could do a base with just contrast the rocks and chuck some gravel down or something, and he would be done. So if you are looking to sort of get something to the table quickly, you could do that really easily. But there is a tabletop standard ready adventurer, I call him. Yeah, so that's it for this one. I'll jump over here and say goodbye to everybody. Yeah, there we go. Oh, let me turn my light on. Oh, will it focus? Will it heck? So yeah, I like him. He's come out alright. Let me see if I can get. Easy. There we go. There you go. He looks good enough to go on the table. Yeah. There we go. Thanks everybody for watching. I don't think I had any new followers or anything. 197, so only 3 away from 200, which would be super cool. We're going to be doing. I am talking, right? Yeah, good. I wasn't sure for a second that my microphone was on. So yeah, won't be long until we're doing that celebration stream, giving stuff away. Might be on at the weekend. We'll do probably a board game behind me. So we're playing Right Busters at the moment, so it'll probably be an adventure on Right Busters, or I might get back and do some more painting. But anyway, thanks very much. Have a great evening, a great weekend if I don't speak to you beforehand, and I'll see you next time. Right? Bye.